Welcome to Wide Angle. I am Udaybhaskar. This is a program that looks at contemporary and current developments pertaining to India's foreign and security policies in an informed and objective manner. The aim is to illuminate issues, throw light, as opposed to generating heat and dust. The big event of the week is undoubtedly the election of a new government following the landslide victory of the Bharatiya Janata Party led by Mr. Narendra Modi. With 282 seats for the BJP alone in a Lok Sabha of 543 seats, the Modi government that will soon be sworn in has a mandate that is both distinctive and historic. The most visible change will be the fact that the new government will be free of the compulsions of a coalition that had hobbled the UPA government led by Dr. Manmohan Singh. What kind of an impact will this have for the conduct of India's foreign and security policies? To discuss this, we have a very special guest, Mr. Shyam Saran, former envoy of the Prime Minister, a former Foreign Secretary, and currently Chairman of the National Security Advisory Board. I was about to say the one and only, but I thought that would embarrass you. But allow me, if I could, to maybe ask you to share your thoughts. The broad point being that we are on the cusp of a very, very important political change as far as India is concerned. But the tenet is that for a large country like India, there would be an essential continuity in foreign policy and in security policy. To that extent, what would be your initial assessment about the challenges as far as the Modi government is concerned in terms of security and foreign policy? And I'm putting security front because even as we speak, we have the perennial challenge of the line of control in Pakistan and the fact that it is again the scene of a certain operation where we have lost some troops. So against this backdrop, how would you assess the challenges for the Modi government in the broader frame, security and foreign policy?
Okay. Well, thank you, Uday, for having me on the program, and thank you for not embarrassing me. And as you rightly said, that we are at the cusp of a very historic transformation in our country. And there is no doubt that while there are continuities which are rooted in the ground realities that India confronts, that there will be some changes. There will be some impact in terms of India's external relations, how it is perceived in the rest of the world, and what kind of engagement it would have with the rest of the world. So in that sense, I think we have an opportunity under a new government and led by a leader who is seen not only in India but also seen abroad as somebody who's decisive, somebody who's charismatic, somebody who takes pride in getting things done. I think that has the potential of, in a sense, changing the mood that we have seen take hold in the world, that India has somehow lost its way. I would say that the challenges are going to remain similar to what we have faced before. You just mentioned the fact that we have recently had a operation on the India-Pakistan line of control. But at the same time, there is another continuity, and that is Nawaz Sharif, the Prime Minister of Pakistan, has sent a special envoy, I saw on the television, to say that here is a opportunity for us to really change India-Pakistan relations, that history will not forgive us if we do not make that change. Which of this is going to be more important in terms of trend, we have to wait and see. But certainly the fact that you have a new government in place does open up many opportunities. The fact that several leaders have promptly reached out to him to congratulate him, to offer that they would like to have better relations with India, that they would like to invite him to visit their countries. These are all good signs, and I hope that we are able to take advantage
On
of
this, if I could just sort of ask you to again share your thoughts. When we talk about Mr. Modi as a person, now of course the PM designate of India, we have the backdrop of the United States and the denial of a visa. Now, as you rightly pointed out, Mr. Obama, the US president, also reached out and offered his congratulations and made the point that he's looking forward to welcome him and meet with him. So, given that backdrop, how would you assess the future of India-US relations, which for a variety of reasons had gone through what I would call as a fairly turbulent phase, going back to the treatment of an Indian diplomat and a sense, both in Washington and in New Delhi, that there is no political traction as far as the bilateral is concerned. Now, you have just come back from Washington. So, again, would you like to say, put your head on the block?
Well, first of all, I do not think that the visa issue is likely to stand in the way of, in fact, taking the relationship between India and the US forward. The very fact that President Obama lost no time to call Mr. Modi to also say some very encouraging words about taking India-US relations forward, to welcoming him in the US.
I mean, there's a political dimension there because Mr. Obama knows what it means to be on the campaign and have a victory like this.
Exactly. So I think the fact that he has extended promptly an invitation to Prime Minister designate to visit Washington, I think should lay the visa issue to rest. But yes, I think there has been, as you mentioned, the relationship between the two countries have gone through a somewhat difficult period. And here again, as I said, there is an opportunity to put these relations back on track. Some of the reasons why these relations sort of went into some kind of a freeze, in a sense, was one, that the Indian economy was not doing well. And I think as far as perceptions about India are concerned, they have been very closely related to the way in which US business sees the prospects of India, business prospects in India, to the extent that the new government coming in is going to kickstart once again some of the pending reforms, opening up of the economy, welcoming foreign investment, removing some of the roadblocks to investment. I think that itself will play a very important role in bringing about a new sentiment, a new mood in India-US relations. So I think the prospects, to my mind, are quite good.
If we talk about Indian foreign policy, there are what we call as the old chestnuts. We have spoken about Pakistan to an extent, the United States, now China. Now, you have also written about this recently. Now, we have, I think, to my mind, a very important learning curve with China, and I would flag the Depsang incident of April 2013. I believe that the way in which that finally unspooled was internalized by both Delhi and Beijing. So, with Depsang as the backdrop and the fact that Mr. Modi is one of the few chief ministers who engaged with China, what would you be able to sort of make some projections about the track? Because interestingly, again, the official media in China seems to have taken favorable notice, quote unquote, as far as the election of Mr. Modi is concerned.
One, I think I have pointed out earlier also that there seems to be sometimes a tendency in this country to regard what is a real yawning gap in capabilities between India and China as somehow something which is permanent. I do not think it is permanent. I think that if any country today has the capacity, the potential to not only equal China, but even to surpass China, it is only India. Yeah. There is no other country which is actually in that lead. But yes, of course, this is not going to happen automatically. You have to work for it. You have to have a certain kind of a sense of national mission. You have to have a sense of national ambition. My sense is that if Mr. Modi becomes the Prime Minister of India, then that kind of new mood of confidence, a mood of assurance, can in fact be brought onto the table, as it were, in our dealings with China. You know, the psychological change that this might bring in terms of our dealings with China is very important. Now, you mentioned the Depsang incident. I think it is fair to say that as a result of that incident, we have put in place a mechanism where we can deal with these issues at not just the local level, but at the central level as well. And you might have seen that recently we had a meeting, the first ever meeting between the Director General of Military Operations of India and his counterpart from China. That's a very good sign, because that shows that there is a seriousness on both sides to ensure that
framework in place.
Exactly.
You know, Mr. Modi is being sworn in this week as the Prime Minister of India, and I think as we move into the next few months, we will have a better sense about what kind of a stamp the new Prime Minister brings to Indian foreign policy.